Another team that I'm looking at who had a pretty damn good draft is the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts had a solid team last season. A lot of people were overlooking them simply because when you look at the Colts, you go, oh man, that's just Andrew Luck and he getting hurt. They got a solid running game. While the last 2 years when he was down, they put around offensive linemen. They got weapons and they drafted some defensive stalwarts. Look out for the fucking Colts. Now, one thing I don't understand is this. Big ups to Bill Belichick. The whole world says that this is a copycat league, right? And everybody say Bill Belichick is doing it the best. Then why don't people do what Bill Belichick does? See, first and foremost, since you don't want to pay NFL, why don't you try? See, look, it is not a genius move that Bill Belichick does. It's not genius at all. What he does is this. Everybody is under the misconception that the best players go in the first round. People, over a 5-year period, the Pittsburgh any team in the National Football League over a 5-year period more than likely only has 5 to 7 first round picks on their team. 5 to 7 first round picks on your team. So your team is comprised of, as I stated Saturday, primarily of second and lower round picks. Stop believing that these players that are picked in lower rounds are not some of the best players in the league. Let's just look at some of the players that have been picked in lower rounds that ended up damn good ball players. You know, you got people like Bart Scott. You got people like Richard Dent. You got people like Bo Ware and others from the Ravens. Damn near the whole Ravens team. So everybody get caught up in this dog and pony show of, hey man, this dude gonna be good. This dude gonna be this. This dude gonna be that. And da 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 da. But nah, just because you got picked first, that means more than likely you came from one of the biggest schools in the country. And because you came from one of the biggest schools in the country, guess what? Most guys that's in the first round end up being bust. You don't even know half those guys. My man Chief Rocker finna slap me down. But like this quarterback, Daniel Jones, we don't know what he's gonna do. He was in the ACC, one of the toughest conferences in football. He looked extremely mediocre, but he got picked because he was there and his coach had relationships. That's what those first round guys are. Most of the guys that you love and rock with, James Harrison, nobody. DeMarcus Ware came from Nowhere State. We can go up and down the list in regards to the NFL draft and find late round sleepers, man. You can find late round sleepers all up and down most NFL rosters. Ryan Clark, hell, the dudes who they say the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the world, Joe Montana and Tom Brady. Terrell Davis, what a Hall of Fame running back, was picked in the 7th round. How many rounds is in the football? 7. They call these dudes Mr. Irrelevant and things of that nature. But no, stop with the foolishness. Stop with the nonsense. Just because you don't come from a big school, just because you don't come from a well-named program, big school, and not a hot pick, does not mean you will not be a great player. The league is comprised of players who were picked in the later rounds. The league, as a matter of fact, I did an unofficial, unscientific test and just did the math on my own. As I've said time and time again, 36% of the players that are in the National Football League today, they ain't even come from schools that you don't know about. You don't know about half these guys. You don't know about half of these guys until they get to the league, and then bam, they the man. I got my man Grego in the building. Let me read some of this chat. I got my man Grego in the building. You get Hope Trafficking, my man. Okay, I got that. The new King, KD. We're not talking about basketball. I'm not even reading that until we get to basketball. Please repost that after we get to basketball, please. No playoff for the Steelers. Yeah, let's see what happens. I need you to be equally loud and wrong. Luck will be heard again. Prove that. Based on what? See, it's easy to just throw out these random statements. This is gonna happen. That's gonna happen. The sun's gonna blow up next week. Based on what? The Giants picked him in the sixth. Ironically, that's what they'll be doing, throwing that pick back to the 60s. Yeah, man, they suck. They're gonna suck all to be damned. But it's one way, Grego, that they can look good. They can follow the Dallas Cowboy plan, run the hell out of Saquon Barkley. They can dunk all the way down the field. They got a solid tight end. They got Shepard. They got Golden Tate. They can play that Cowboy football, and it may work. But the difference is they don't have a solid defense. So you might be right. Back to the 60s. Here's my prediction, Big L. Big L will not claim his team in the third year in a row. That's a prediction. Rated for life. My man. He likes the Bears. Big L speaks about football like the Bears that won the last 19 Super Bowls. Like he a damn Patriot fan. It's amazing how much yapping come from Bears fans. Chicago sports fans in general, they talk like these teams in this damn city tearing it up every year. But, I mean, if your team losing every year, you may as well talk about the other people who losing too, I guess, I suppose. Or as he would say, maybe. My man, Big Illinois, the Bears are down. But that's another, I was actually going to speak on the Bears. The Bears picked up a big time, well, he's not a big time, they picked up a running back from Iowa State. The Bears filled a lot of holes. Now, if the Bears can get Mitchell Trubisky to stop hitting wide open linebackers and safeties, the Bears might have another solid season. Another reason the Bears should have another solid season is because we don't know what the Packers will be. My man RC and Vince Wright, they got a quarterback who's 38.5% disabled mentally. Somebody told, I think it was Al T asked me not to say retired, so I ain't gonna say them honor Al T. And they got a bunch of bums. So the whole division is full of clowns. So the cream may rise to its top. Big ups to all you Bear fans. Unbearable, but still, you may win the division for the second time. Started everything professional. Arkansas, everything in college. And they ain't won since the 90s. Loser. You root for bums. Straight bums. And get Sue on the line. That's your prediction, Big Illinois? The Bears get Adamakan Sue? That would be great. Question, Big Illinois. You know the Bears. Are they willing to pay Adamakan Sue kind of money? But if Adamakan Sue has any sense, he better not take no discount, man. Damn that double check shit. I'm not saying that. Another team that surprised me this weekend, man. I'm gonna show my girl Mocha Bella some love with her team. A lot of people don't think Josh Rosen gonna do anything. I think he's a solid quarterback at best. As I stated, like Tyrod Taylor, he's a backup quarterback. But there's a bunch of backup quarterbacks throughout the league. The Miami Dolphins picked up a couple defensive players, and they already have a solid line, a solid offensive line, a solid running back, and solid weapons. With Jim Caldwell as the offensive coordinator, the Miami Dolphins may shock a few teams. The Miami Dolphins wasn't a bad team to begin with, but their coach was not the best of coaches. Hopefully, Brian Flores will take some of that Patriot way down to Miami, unlike most of his predecessors. And then he could get that Miami Dolphin thing moving. I think the Dolphins may be one of the shocker teams in the National Football League next season. It's going to be extremely interesting to see them coming. So, Mocha Bella, your Miami Dolphins might be on the moon, man. Okay, my man, Big Illinois said that's wishful thinking. The Bears need the healthy offensive line stuff, fam. My man, that dude, Rebirth of Cool Shockers in the building. Southside on deck. And by the way, Big L, no more rooting for Chicago, man. You root for Arkansas, man. Your Chicago privileges are out. If you ain't been living in Illinois for the last 10 years, you no longer us, man. You Arkansas, man. Go ahead on with that. Jim Caldwell, the offensive coordinator, and a quarterback whisperer is going to get Rosen right. Raider for life. That's exactly what I was thinking, man. Because if you can get Joe Flacco looking like he'd be the quarterback, Jim Caldwell, hey man, every place he showed up, the quarterback playing better. Rain cap outside, ears on, can't chat till later. My man Shaka, hey man, even if you don't chat, I got mad love for you, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. Nah, Mocha, I'm being dead serious. The team is not a bad team. The coach was not a good coach. They got good talent. They got running backs. They got receivers. They got a decent offensive line. They drafted those 2 defensive players. I think in the early rounds, I do believe that the Miami Dolphins got a shot. Flores looked like he knew what he was doing last year. You know, he had the defense playing right. Everybody get Belichick the credit. It's like kind of like playing with LeBron James. LeBron James get all the credit when y'all win, and you get all the blame when y'all lose. But throughout the season, Flores had that defense rocking. Brian Flores looked like he know what he's doing. Hopefully, the Miami Dolphins and my mama's favorite football team will get it back in the spot. And Mocha said, I'm Jason Hatim. It's the first time for everything, Big L. Man, screw Big L. Get you a new team. Your Illinois privileges out there. Remove. No more Illinois privileges for Big L. You know why? Because you just running around Arkansas. Embarrassing the family. He's your cold mother. That's what you're doing, bro. We ain't trying to hear that no more from you. You root for the Arkansas Razorbacks. You should be rooting for the Illini. You're from Illinois. You're shameful, boy. You're shameful, boy. You're a bandwagon jumper. We don't want you on our bandwagon no more. You're barred from Illinois going forward. If we catch you in the state, 50 to the eyes, no blinking. Every time you blink, we start over. That's how we get it. The last team that I am going to discuss in regards to my draft is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The reason I'm going to do this is because Jameis Winston is one of my favorite football players. I'm going to give them a break. I'm going to give them a B. The reason I'm going to give them a B, and it should have been a little higher, but I'm going to give them a B because they drafted what I believe is the best defensive player in the draft this year. Devin White, linebacker out of LSU. He is a Derrick Brooks clone. And then they drafted DBs to slow, because you got Devin White, you got McCoy down there, and then they drafted a couple other players throughout the draft. But the people who stood out were the DB Sean Bunning, the DB Jamal Dean, and Devin White. They're trying to solidify that defense. I wish. The reason I didn't get them an A is because they did not draft a running back. Jameis Winston is the kind of quarterback that needs a running back to balance him out. He needs a running back to balance him out. So if you give him a running back, then bam, Jameis Winston looks like the man. I'm a big time Jameis Winston fan. I could be biased. I could be tripping. I ain't got no problem being biased or tripping. But that's where I'm rolling. Jameis Winston is my man. I wish they get him a running back. Hopefully, they sign Shady McCoy. Get him down there. Get him popping. Jameis Winston will be killing it. Yeah, HRap is biased on the end of this. But so what? Chicago everything professional. No. Your Chicago Clippers ain't been suspended, man. I'm going to need you to go ahead and start rooting for the Saints or something, man. We don't need you up here no more, man. You're not part of us no more. How long you been in Arkansas, Big L? If it's more than a decade, you are no longer a citizen, man. No. You're from here. You're not us no more. You're out of the state for more than 10 years. You just when last time you been to Illinois? Yep, that's it. You're out, man. I ain't gonna give you a chance to respond, Big L. You are Arkansonian or whatever they call y'all down there, man. Like why do they even? Hey, you know what? Chief Rocker said it right, man. Why do they even call y'all? Ain't got no brick rocks down there. Y'all ain't got no real cities now. Do they even sell shoes in Arkansas? Yeah, I'm going hard on you, man. Flores, the Honduran. Grego is in the building. Flores, the Honduran, loves the blitz. Much love. But he does. He's a blitzing fool. And when you get, this is why I believe it's going to work, though, Mocha. That's why I believe it's gonna work though. But I thought he was Panamanian. I thought he